Shadows crawling in the bright daylight, voices twisted, feeding us the blight, telling stories that were never true. We fight to break on through. Lies are woven like a velvet chain, slick with power driving us insane. But the fire burns deep within our chests. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make our mark. They call us rebels, say we've lost our way, but freedom's blood, it fuels the fray. From the ashes comes a brighter light. We fight with all our might. See resolve in the roaring storm, breaking cages will rewrite the norm. No more silence, no more disguise. We fight with open eyes. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we'll never rest. We rise with fists clenched high, tearing through the veil, the sky. Truth's a blade that cuts the dark. We fight, we make our mark. We fight, we make our mark.
Israel says that Iran violated the peace agreement and the ceasefire agreement. Do you believe that Iran is still committed to peace?
Yeah, I do. They violated it, but Israel violated it too.
Are you questioning if Israel is committed?
Israel, as soon as we made the deal, they came out and they dropped a load of bombs, the likes of which I've never seen before. The biggest load that we've seen. I'm not happy with Israel. You know, when I say, okay, now you have 12 hours, you don't go out in the first hour and just drop everything you have on them. So I'm not happy with them. I'm not happy with Iran either. But I'm really unhappy if Israel's going out this morning because the one rocket that didn't land, that was shot, perhaps by mistake, that didn't land. I'm not happy about that. You know what? We basically have two countries that have been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Do you have to respond to Iran?
You've been on this beat for a long time. I've never seen the president that mad. I've never seen him that mad to drop an F-bomb like that. I've never seen the way he's addressing Netanyahu. He's furious because he's put it all on the line. He had to work with Qatar. This was to save Israel. Netanyahu jeopardized Israel and the people of Israel. They're the ones taking the big incomings tomorrow. Persia's 100 million people. It's 3 times the size of Texas. They can take a lot of beating. Israel's tiny. It's a strip of land on the sea and 9 million people. They're taking, and the dome ain't working. I mean, they're running out of ammo. I'm not saying it's not working. They just got too many ballistic missiles coming at them. President Trump did that for him and his government, and now they're trying to get in every lick they can possibly get. And Trump's not going to have it. He doesn't play that way. He says, his big thing is no games. I mean, you've seen him, Mark. Have you ever seen him this mad?
I have not seen him this mad. I mean, he was infuriated. As I said, I don't envy anyone being on that Marine One helicopter ride with him afterward. However, it appears that it was message delivered and message accepted. But this is the Middle East. It's difficult to stop people from killing each other when they want to kill each other. And if Trump pulls this off, if this happens, it's going to be quite a feat.
Lindsey Graham is on the extreme war side or neoconservative side of things, and he always has been. I don't think the president has ever been there. And in my conversations with both of them present in a small group, the president has always sort of chided Graham, for being too far out there on the limb of trying to intervene everywhere all the time and be involved in every war. And I don't think that's the president's natural inclination. I do appreciate that President Trump is now saying to Israel in fairly forceful words that they need to, adhere to the ceasefire. I hope that will stick, and I hope the president will stick that this is all we're doing and no more. I still have a constitutional question with the way it was done, but I hope for the best. I mean, I don't want our country to be involved in another or mired down in another Middle East war. And I think Iran would put both Iraq and Afghanistan to shame in being such a large country. And there's no way U.S. troops could occupy it. There's no way Israel could occupy it in any reasonable fashion for any reasonable time. Militarily, we're incredibly superior. And really, the last week has shown that unmatched is our military, and Iran is nothing to stand up to it. But it's still an open question how they respond. Do they respond in a chastened way where they stop nuclear development, or do they respond in a headlong push towards the bomb? And I think that really is an unknown.
The president has been taking fire both from the neoconservative pro-regime change side as well as from the isolationist and anti-Israel side of things. The neoconservative regime change hawks, they didn't get what they wanted this week, and neither did the isolationists. What Trump did was what the American people wanted to see, which is peace through strength. If you are a threat to America, we will be ruthless, but we are not interested in sending our troops and our treasure to invade the sovereignty of another country and tell them how to govern and how to live their lives. That is up to them. And that has been the president's position from the beginning. That is his foreign policy. The Trump doctrine is, Tulsi Gabbard actually put it very well in 2016. When it comes to terrorists, she said, I am a hawk. When it comes to counterproductive wars of regime change, I am a dove. The president ignored the influencers on both sides and catered to the American people, to his voters, and gave them what they voted for.
And the president looks over at me, puts the foreign leader on mute and says, this is not going very well. And he presses the red button. and my eyes get really big. And I'm like, Mr. President, what just happened? And he looks at me and he goes, nuclear. Nuclear. And 2 minutes later, a guy walks in with a Diet Coke, and he looks back at me and he says, it wasn't nuclear, it's just the Diet Coke button. And that's... So that's the kind of guy, and my fellow Republicans, that we have as the President of the United States. And the President looks over...
Trump is the best. I don't think there's any way around it. Sorry, lots of clips I wanted to show to get started. Welcome to the Ace Report, guys. We're going to break down today's news. So much good stuff to go. We're going to have some laughs. We're going to break down where we're at in the whole Iran-Israel thing. Trump's epic F-bomb, obviously. How just more and more proof that Trump is just nowhere even close to being controlled by Israel. There's just, so much good stuff to cover tonight. Trump's polls are surging. I got some incredible stuff there. We're going to cover some of the RFK hearing, which was pretty epic today, and then just a few other things. But anyways, welcome. Loaded show tonight. Got lots to get to. And let's say hey to some peeps real quick up in the hizzy. I'm going to hit Rumble up first tonight. What's up? Lochtefeld, as Tropic over there on Rumble. What's going on, guys? Over here on YouTube, we got US1, Wagga Waco, Kim Wiley, Country Computers, Butters. What's up? Dave R. Hobbs, Fro Girl, Toe Cramp, Brett Montgomery. Hit the like and subscribe. Thank you so much, Brett. Just Mike, Barefoot DC, Troy, man, Auto Max. What's up? Scott Volkovich, Cass Sink, John Cox. With the all-time high close on NASDAQ. Oh, man, stocks went crazy today once the peace deal was looking to hold. Wonderful stuff. We're so stoked about that. And oil just continues to tank. So you guys saw my girl Bacha just killing it over there, as she is just always finger on the pulse. Even Rand Paul saying that Trump is just not not a neocon, not a warmonger. He does not want that. So that was good to hear from Rand Paul. And, I had to post today, anyone who still thinks Trump's controlled by Israel is a F-bomb retard. Because at this point, there's no argument there. Okay. And it is what it is, but we got to say it. We just don't deserve them, as Alan Krentz says. What's going on, Alan? Oh, the JD clip was excellent. I got another really funny clip tonight too, shared by Trump. But so this morning, we got news that the ceasefire, Iran had sent a missile over after the ceasefire, a few minutes after the ceasefire was supposed to go into effect, hit Israel, and Israel decided to retaliate, and they threatened major retaliation. And Trump was pissed. He's like, I just got the ceasefire. I did the work. I'm not doing this. I want peace. I did my part. I knocked out the nuke program, which I've been talking about since 2011, had nothing to do with Israel. The timing was the only thing that had to do with Israel, nothing else. And yet we said, I'm doing this. I'm knocking it out. This is the perfect time to do this. And he went for it. And then ceasefire, peace. And then Israel and Iran got a little frisky again. And Trump wasn't having it. So here's Trump calling out Israel, saying, turn those planes around. That Israel's not going to attack Iran. Planes will turn around, head home, doing a friendly plane wave to Iran. Nobody will be hurt. Ceasefire is in effect. Thank you for attention to this matter. They dropped one missile. And after that one missile, it was over. Trump stopped. And here's a little more of the story from Mark Caputo, who you just saw on War Room. Says, it sounds as if Trump ripped Bibi over the phone. Why would you rip Bibi if you're so controlled by Israel, huh? Big question there. Says President Trump was exceptionally firm and direct with Prime Minister Netanyahu about what needed to happen to sustain the ceasefire. Prime Minister understood the severity of the situation and the concerns President Trump expressed. And in other words, President Trump made Bibi his lady friend. He whipped him into shape. Bibi done got scared. He got scared. He walked away. By the way, I see somebody said the screen's fuzzy on YouTube. I'm so sorry, guys. Rumble Studio. I have not had the time to set up a new stream. And Rumble Studio has gone bad on me for the last month. It sucks. So I'm sorry I'm a little fuzzy on YouTube, but as long as you can hear me well, I'll keep the fuzzy me down in the corner so it doesn't bother you guys too much. And again, I'm working on that, as I just need time. Time is not my friend right now, but I'll get to it. So Trump, send the fire down. Proof not owned by Israel, just doing great. And then he shares this. Both Israel and Iran wanted to stop the war equally. It was my great honor to destroy all nuclear facilities and capability and then stop the war. And immediately after that, Trump tweets out, China can now continue to purchase oil from Iran. Hopefully, they'll be purchasing plenty from the U.S. also. It's my great honor to make this happen. Now, that's interesting. Praying Medic shares, Trump unilaterally removed economic sanctions on the Islamic Republic. Why? Did something change? Is the Islamic regime still in power? Very interesting. What's going on there? Did something happen that we don't know about? We have this from this Goldie Gamari, Iranian, says, when the terrorist Islamic regime tells you to pray for someone, they're usually dead. Khomeini is dead, called it. Mehdi Fazeli, a member of the Office for Preservation and Publication of Ali Khomeini's works, refused to give a clear answer in a television interview about the health status of the leader of Islamic Republic, saying only pray. The TV host asked him, how's your eminence? Are you okay? But Fazeli evaded the answer, ultimately uttering only this short sentence without specifically mentioning Khomeini's physical condition. The comments come amid reports Khamenei had been moved to a bunker during Israel's 12-day offensive on Islamic Republic, a matter officials never clarified. Now the silence from the leadership's office has once again fueled speculation about his health and hidden circumstances. Now that's interesting. You got to admit it. That's wild. Remember when Trump made that regime change tweet and everybody on the Israel tards freaked out? Oh my God, he's doing it. He's going in for regime change. And all of us were like, he will never do that. And of course we were right, because we actually know Trump. We don't freak out over every little thing. But this is interesting. He might know something. And it seems to me as if Trump, there's way more going on in this operation than meets the eye. Way more. I mean, for it to end, there was another, I don't have it ready right now, but there was an excellent post about how war, it's never this simple. This is never just how it ends. So what was going on behind the scenes? What was really happening in those talks with Iran, even the talks with Israel? I don't know. I have several questions, but I got to tell you, I think Trump is doing way more than it appears to be. And I think that strike on Iran was not just we're taking out their nuclear program. I think it was a cover for a whole lot more. And it accomplished a whole lot more than is being let on. And that's a good thing. That's a good thing. We have the right guy in charge. Donkey says, what's a lie without a little fuzzy ace? That's what my wife says too, but she's talking about my beard. Fuzzy ace is no better than no ace at all. Well, I appreciate that. What's going on, Patrice? And John Cox thanks, Obama. That's right. Brent Montgomery, who says, welcome in. Please like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much. If you're on X, if you hit that repost, I'd appreciate it. Every little bit helps the algorithm. And hey, also on X, I have posted and pinned to the top. If you want to be getting in on the members' lives and in the Discord, you can now join the Patreon for free for a month by just clicking that link. It is in the description here on YouTube and Rumble, and it is pinned to the top of my profile on X. I'm starting to cover all my bases. So, talking about lots. Thank you, Mark R. Appreciate that. Talking about lots of psyops going on here. Here's Carolyn Levitt. Where's Big JR? JR, your girlfriend. Here's Carolyn Levitt talking about CNN tonight, putting out an assessment. CNN tonight comes out with a top secret assessment that we have obtained a top secret assessment that there were no nuclear materials in there, and it was completely the bomb strike barely accomplished anything. So Carolyn Levitt comes out and says this alleged assessment's flat out wrong. It's classified as top secret. It's still leaked to CNN by an anonymous, low-level loser in the intelligence community. You think Trump still got a lot of issues over there in his own departments that he's supposed to be in charge of? You better believe it. The leaking of this alleged assessment is a clear attempt to demean President Trump and discredit the brave fighter pilots who conducted a perfectly executed mission to obliterate Iran's nuclear program. Everyone knows what happens when you drop 14 30,000-pound bombs perfectly on their targets. Total obliteration. And Pragmatic shares this. U.S. intelligence found that Iran did not, this is U.S. intelligence, found Iran did not move nuclear material from its Fordo facility before B-2 bombers struck it, says Senator Mark Wayne Mullen. In fact, we actually believe they stored more of it in Fordo because they believed Fordo was impenetrable. So now we have U.S. intelligence coming out saying there was more nuclear material in there. And so you have two sides here. You have possible is Israeli intelligence because maybe they want to get back in the war, trying to say nothing was accomplished, and that's being seeded. We know that they do that. Okay, you have CNN, fake news media saying it, and then you have Trump in the intelligence committee. U.S. intelligence, and you have the nuclear, IA, I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but the nuclear inspectors are saying the same thing, that the material was in there. So who are you going to trust? You get to choose there, but I know a lot of you are like, well, I don't trust the government or the media. Yeah, but they're at odds here. So you got to kind of pick one. Who's it going to be? I know for me, the media is, I can't trust anything they do because, and I actually trust this government we voted in. So there you go. That's how it's going to be. Says, JC Cool says, just show a full screen photo of Caroline Levitt for Junior and read the tweet to us. He wishes. He wishes. Tokram says, dude, I do. Oh, thank you. He says, you do brilliant work. Can't believe you don't have a good 25 to 50K subscribers. Tokram, that means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Greatly appreciate it. Stella says, trying a super chat is not working for some reason. Did they turn off my super chats? Wow, maybe they finally did. Maybe they finally killed that. I haven't had a super chat in like a week, and they demonetized all of my videos for an entire week. So maybe they're cutting off my funding here on YouTube. They're trying to chase me off. Oh, well, it is what it is. What does Q say? Vince, on this particular subject, I don't know. Tokram's the one who can answer that. John Cox says, it's crazy they dropped the bunker busters in a ventilation shaft that was only the width of a womp rat. Yeah, man, they pulled off Star Wars A New Hope on this one, man. They took out the Death Star, or more recently, Top Gun Maverick. It's actually kind of crazy how similar the mission was to the Top Gun Maverick mission, other than the fact that they didn't know we were there, so they didn't have any defenses. Here's Trump on the subject. Based on everything we've seen, and I've seen it all, our bombing campaign obliterated Iran's ability to create nuclear weapons. Our massive bombs hit exactly the right spot at each target and worked perfectly. The impact of those bombs is buried under a mountain of rubble in Iran, so anyone who says the bombs were not devastating is just trying to undermine the president and the successful mission. That is from Pete Hegseth. John Cox with the $2 super chat. Thank you so much. He checked it out, and he said it does work. So I guess it's just some people. Country Computers, what is up, man? Still a member after 23 months. I appreciate that. Toe Cramp also tested. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. Oh, Daniel Price, don't worry. I'll get to the poll. No fantasy polls, my friend. You're going to be sorely disappointed because I can already tell you're a Dem. So sorry for that, brother. But yeah, if you keep watching, you're going to see that the polls right now, Trump is polling higher than Obama in second term. But we'll get to that. You're jumping ahead a little bit, buddy. Hero Large with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Hero. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys for the support. Always very, very welcome and appreciated. Thank you so much. Very humbled. Very humbled. Please like, subscribe. Thank you guys. All right. So, as far as I can see, Trump, either one of two things happened here. Okay. Either it is what it looks like on paper and in the media, and Trump, they pulled off this bombing and it knocked out their nuclear sites, and it's what Trump told us. That's number one. That's how I see it. Number two is the bombing was a cover for something else, and yet it accomplished so much more than we know behind the scenes, ran cover for that, and the nuclear program's still gone. That's what I believe. I believe one way or the other, the nuclear program's gone, because Trump's been talking about this for 14 years and he seems satisfied. So to me, all the intelligence he has says mission accomplished. Maybe he did it a different way. Iran's response was extremely weak, which tells me that they either weren't surprised by the attack and they were okay with it, and they were just like, this was going to happen one way or the other. We're just going to save face in this, and it was a deal worked out. Or they were so overwhelmed that they were like, we can't get into war with this, but we have to do something. Either way, we're winning. We're winning big. And so Daniel Price is a big CNN truster over here. So we obviously have somebody who just is watching this show because he already knows so much. He can't find a place to put out his information because nobody believes him anymore, because everything he believes and says is a lie. But he's going to come into my chat and tell us all what's really going on. Listen, buddy, if you think anybody in this chat has believed CNN in the last 25 years, well, I got some oceanfront property in Arizona to sell you, bud. Right here we have from Open Source Intel, which has been an excellent source for up-to-date information on what's going on in the Middle East. Citing the Washington Post, Netanyahu understands Trump will no longer participate militarily in the conflict. Man, Trump really knock down Netanyahu. He's defeated. And I got to say, if you think Trump is owned by Israel at any point anymore, like Netanyahu is a dog with his tail tucked between his legs. Trump dropped the F-bomb and then he smoked Netanyahu. So listen, I'm not, again, you guys know the deal. We don't go full Israel's evil. We don't go full Israel's perfect. The truth is in the middle. And Israel, though, does do a lot of stupid stuff, a lot of terrible things. Israel's also sometimes a great ally to have. So the truth is in the middle. This time, Netanyahu obviously pushed Trump further than he wanted to be pushed. And he said, listen, man, I'm the daddy in this room. I'm the daddy in this room. So I put it down. Netanyahu now admitting, I got spanked. I'm stepping out of it. And so in celebration of this, Trump posts this, which I gotta say, this made me laugh pretty good. So a little fun for you guys real quick here.
And
I'm just living for it. I'm so here for it. Oh my God. The man is too good. He's too good. And you know what? He's so good. It makes us laugh. He tells it like it is. And the polls are showing it. Today, the daily tracking poll from Rasmussen, 1,500 likely voters. By the way, Rasmussen, the second most accurate poll of the 2024 and 2020 elections, right behind Atlas, Insight, and along with Big Data Poll. Not any of those fake polls you see out there. They actually call the election right within half a point. Rasmussen's daily tracking, 1,500 likely voters. Trump currently at 52%. My friends, people are loving the Trump right now. They're feeling the Trumpmeister. Here we go. Let's bring in our favorite New York Jew, Harry N. Harry, tell us how Trump's doing, Harry.
Yeah, I think there's this idea, okay, maybe the MAGA base wouldn't necessarily like this. Look, this is Donald Trump's Republican Party. That's what I think is so important to note. GOP on the U.S. airstrikes in Iran, 76% in the average of the two polls approve, compared to just 18% who disapprove. Now, I will note that is a bit higher than Donald Trump's disapproval rating within the Republican Party. But overall, Republicans are with Donald Trump on this. Tucker Carlson be darned. The bottom line is he does not speak for the majority of the Republican base. The majority of the Republican base is with Donald Trump.
Harry and I love watching when CNN has to admit that Trump's doing good. And on top of this, we have the CBS News poll coming out. Do you approve or disapprove U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities? Republicans approve 85%. MAGA Republicans 94%. But I thought he was losing his base. I thought that this was killing MAGA. I thought this was gonna split MAGA. Dave Smith, where are you? This was splitting MAGA. Tucker Carlson. Wasn't this going to split MAGA? Candace, can you tell me? Alex, where are you? Well, I thought it was going to split MAGA, but the MAGA, they just tend to be a little stronger than I thought they'd be. Alex, this movement, Trump as a leader, is so much unbelievably stronger than any of you guys give him credit. We're not split. You know why we're not split? You know why he has a 94% approval among those who consider themselves MAGA? Because we've been with him from the beginning and we trust the man. We know that Israel has no power over this man. We know when he says Iran can't have nukes, we knew he was going to do a strike, and he's been looking for his chance since he became president in 2017. He was looking for the right opportunity. We knew this. And so when he struck, even if we were like, oh man, I hope this doesn't get worse than it looks, because there was a lot of noise out there, we still thought we're trusting Trump until he breaks us, until he betrays us. And you know what? He did it again. He 100% backed us up again and did exactly what we thought he'd do. It's almost like MAGA is the ones that keep their heads and everything. And this is what I love so much about the MAGA movement, why I'm so thrilled to be a part of it, is because it's the first political movement in my lifetime that is just based on common sense. It just is. It's common sense across the board. No, we're not completely pacifist, because that's not common sense. You can't be completely pacifist. We're not completely non-interventionist, because sometimes you got to intervene just a little bit, just to get the kids to stop fighting. You intervene a little bit, but you don't get involved in other people's business long term. So you back it up. No, Daniel, I'm not to your part yet, retard. I'm building a show. I'm building it up. All right, we got this. This was hilarious today. Tim Burchett dropping some truth bombs about Trump versus Congress here.
I now recognize Mr. Burchett from Tennessee.
Thank you, Chair Lady. I would remind members of both sides of the aisle that that President Trump's approval rating is soaring, and last I checked, congressional approval is not, and I think that bears witness. Mr. Dickerson and Mr. Burton, do you think Congress should withdraw additional funds other than the $9 billion recently approved by the House?
Absolutely. The federal budget is entirely out of control. There are hundreds of billions of dollars of improper payments. There are tremendous
Trump's approval soaring, Congress not so much. But you know what? The Republicans pulled a huge switch in the last month. Look at this. D+3 last month. Now Republicans +8. It's almost like Trump knows what he's doing to get the party back on track for the midterms. Look at this turn here. Since April, which was tariffs, D+5, Republicans are now +8. Oh, my God, guys, are you tired of the winning? And now, Daniel, I have the video you've been waiting for, because this isn't clickbait, my friend. I never clickbait. I always tell the truth, and I always have receipts. That's what you'll learn. And that's why you probably shouldn't come here if you're going to be a CNN tard, because I always got the receipts. And if I'm doing a video on it, ain't no way you're gonna prove me wrong. Here we go. I'll just let you watch this video, Daniel. And hey, if you gotta cry, just it's okay. It's okay. But if you're gonna try to lube yourself with your tears, take it into another room. Okay. So
however, in spite of all of it, Peace is polling very, very well. And Donald Trump is still polling historically well. Is that a correct take?
Yeah, 100%. If you look at, I don't have them here, but our approval chart where we overlay every single prior president going back to Obama 1, we have all that. I should have prepped it. I'm pretty sure. Oh, there it is. It's been updated. The red line that you've circled there is getting awfully close to that purple line. Wow. It's way closer in the recent chart. I don't know. I think it's going to cross, and it would be awfully ironic if literally the month that Donald Trump ended Iran's nuclear ambition after a failed $100 billion Iranian nuclear bill that Obama got passed in 2015, a deal with Iran, the same month that Trump 2.0 crosses Obama 1.0 approval. I think that would be really poetic. So I'm going to have to keep watching that and see if it happens.
So you're saying
because that's politics Jesus there, and Trump's about to outperform him.
You're saying that President Trump is about to beat Barack Obama for being the most popular president in our lifetimes.
At this point in the term and going forward, yeah, 100%.
In modern history.
Yeah.
And that's what this chart shows right here.
That's it.
Wow. Here it is again.
So again, something might happen. There might be a black swan. This is not it. What's that?
Yeah, we're going to zoom in on this so that everyone can see, because I know there's a lot of data here. This is a historic moment, Mark.
I'll get you an updated one to tweet out later, but it's
our team's looking for the updated one right now. But you're saying that Trump's the red line and the purple line's Obama, and Trump is skyrocketing towards beating Obama for the most popular president.
Oh my goodness! Look at that! Like, there's it. Past Obama is the most popular president. This is Obama's second term. Obama's second term. Just he'd already peaked. Ouch! What a loser! What a loser president he was. Trump is going to be more popular, I guarantee it, than all these presidents going forward. It's going to happen, my friends. Because Trump, the more people get the more the policies are working, the more he's showing us that he's not going to get us into wars, the more popular he will be. And the demigod Obama, the Democratic demigod, who, by the way, is a total loser, has abandoned his party as they are living around with a 21% approval rating right now nationwide. The least popular, most broken political party of my entire lifetime. And Obama, he can't be bothered right now. He can't be bothered. He's got to rub down Big Mike's muscles. So for that next weightlifting competition, you got to have you got to be greased up. You got to be greased up to look good for those. Big Mike told him. And you just can't bother Barry when he's greasing up Mike. And so Trump is just going. So here's the receipts, Daniel. I hope your tears are salty, and enjoy it. But what we're really looking at, guys, right now is something that we just haven't seen. As you can look here, the tracking has Obama's second term started high and cratered and never recovered. And then you have all the other presidents right here. That pink line, I believe, is Obama's first term. He doesn't have it right here. Let me go back right here. That's his first term. So his first term, he started out with these epic, because everybody was so mad at Republicans for Iraq and the great financial crisis. And then his approval cratered as well. Obama was definitely not a superhuman, as they all want us to believe. I mean, his approval never crossed 50 again in either term once he went under, except for this one little blip right here for about a week. The other presidents just getting crushed. Trump is just hovering around here. He dipped into the high 40s for a bit, hanging up. I mean, it's unbelievable. He is the people's president. He's the most popular president. MAGA is the largest political identification in the nation now at 36%. It's just, the winning is incredible. We are getting stronger, not weaker. That does not happen in a second term. Never has. Never. Not Reagan, who was the most popular president for a long time, had a rough second half of his second term, just destroyed. And so we remember, because of his massive electoral victories, and because the Democrats who they put up against him and Bush were so terrible. But he got wrecked. And Trump right now is setting up to have the best second term of any president in at least 4 times. So great things going on with Trump. I believe that the polls are only going to, I believe the polls next week are going to be anywhere from 3 to 5 points higher, because next week we'll get the full capture of all the nation and their approval over how he handled Iran and Iraq. In Israel. And I'm telling you right now, nobody could have done it better than he did. Not one person could have done it better. Obama, Bush, Clinton, Reagan, Kennedy, Nixon, Carter, definitely not. None of them could have handled it as well as Trump just did. It's something we've never seen in the vast majority of our lifetimes. We've never seen such an escalation get tamped down so quick. So it's just unbelievable. And I do believe, you can see the trends here, guys. These kind of spikes back up above 50, very, very rare. You have Biden got this one little spike after he gave everybody a bunch of money, and then he just stayed super low the rest of his presidency. So that's the only one around this time that also had a similar spike at the same point. But again, we're just going to see some great stuff. Yeah, it looks like Daniel bailed, and I don't blame him because he just got his butt handed to him. He was not blocked because he wasn't disrespectful, and we invite respectful disagreement. It's the trolls we kick out. So, but he couldn't handle it once receipts were came across. He's sure he isn't Rosie O'Donnell. What's up, Ryan Edberg? How's it going? By the way, guys, if you like a channel that brings the receipts, if you like a channel that does the research, that can back up every single thing I say, if you like that kind of channel, please take a minute and a second and just hit that like and subscribe. I appreciate it. You know, I work hard for this, and I bring the receipts always, because I'm not going to just spout something out there that I don't believe in with evidence. You know, trust, then verify. And I always believe in that. So I appreciate it, guys, for that. Okay. We got more. But that's Trump, the fallout from the war, where it's going. We are chilling now. And Brett said he did block Daniel. Oh, okay. I didn't see it. So good job. Good job, Brett. Good job. That's why I got good moderators. You got personal, you get out. You can't keep, if you're personal, you get out. All right. Couple more things here. RFK had this exchange with a Democrat today, which really got fun because, well, you'll see. Daniel, you're going to put me on a morgue slab? Dude, goodbye. You won't be seen anymore, friend. That's disgusting. And you obviously have no intellect. You are you're unable to have an intellectual debate because you're a leftist, which means your brain doesn't work. And so I'm sorry that you went there. Goodbye. Here we go.
And I'll address you.
Here's RFK lighting into this guy about his what Big Pharma's done to him.
And I'll address you, Congressman Pallone. 15 years ago, you and I met. You were at that time a champion for people who had suffered injuries from vaccines. You were very adamant about it. You were the leading member of Congress on that issue. Since then, you've accepted $2 million from pharmaceutical companies in contribution, more than any other member of this committee. And your enthusiasm for supporting the old ACIP committee, which was completely rife and pervasive with pharmaceutical conflicts, seems to be an outcome of those contributions.
Mr. Chairman,
Thank you.
Point of order. Point of order.
The chair recognizes
Point of order. The
Dr.
gentleman is impugning the reputation of a member of Congress.
They got so mad.
Mr. Pallone.
Stop the clock. And you stop the clock for a second.
RFK, man, always has the receipts. He knows all these guys who are paid off, and it calls them out. Balone, he says, you used to be one of those about vaccine safety, and then they paid you $2 million, and all of a sudden you became this. And then this is the other highlight, which it's not really a highlight. This is horrifying. But this is RFK talking about what happened with several of the children who came across the border under the Biden administration. And just, anyways, let him say it, talk about it.
The Biden administration lost track of all those children is because they were emphasizing speed over security. And there were political...
Real quick, why, when it's children involved, would you emphasize speed over security? It's not hard. It's not hard to answer that question. It's disgusting, and many people don't want to think about it, but the truth is staring you in the face.
Reasons for that: they wanted to get the kids out of U.S. custody, so they were handing them off to anybody. They didn't require background checks. They didn't require identification even. I've watched horror stories of the same person picking up child after child after child, using different names and different addresses. One of the addresses was a strip club. One of the addresses was a parking lot. One of the addresses was an empty lot that was filled with shipping containers. And this character was getting all these kids. One person got 42 kids to one address. What we're doing now is DNA testing on every sponsor. We're doing personal identification. We're doing background checks, and we're doing income verification.
Thank you, Mr.
The Biden administration.
If you know, there's people out there who get upset with not MAGA, but people who aren't, they're not crazy. They're centrists or whatever you want to call them, but they get really upset with like the Trump war stuff. And they'll say like, hey, this is the same as if we vote for Kamala or anything. And this is where I'm just like, how can you ever even get close to saying something like that? Because what he's saying here, we already know Biden allowed 300,000 plus children to cross the border and disappear. And it's as bad as you think it is. It really is. It's probably worse. And this is why, even if you don't like Trump on the economy, if you don't like him on his foreign policy, I think it's impossible to not like what he's doing with kids, unless you're a criminal, unless you hate children, because what happened before is criminal, and they don't want to look at it. They don't want to, they're either in on it or they want to ignore it because they hate Trump. But the fact is that this administration is actually trying to save children. And the trafficking, halt it, all this stuff. It's horrific. And what was happening at the border was so much more than people coming and stealing our jobs, so much more than possible terror cells. It also was the greatest. Joe Biden's administration ran the largest child trafficking operation in the history of the world. Full stop. End of statement. That's a fact. It is a fact. And I hope someday they're all tried and get their due justice for that. Because if you hurt a child, it is the most despicable thing you can ever be a part of. And speaking of which, a lot of this is starting to come out more and more. All right. Long Island child therapist Renee Hoberman pleads guilty to distribution of videos of infants being assaulted. She admitted to using social media to upload, receive, and trade digital depicting minors, including several videos of infants being physically restrained. And I just can't even say it. This woman, people think women are safe. No, it's just the liberal mind virus. Whatever is going on is beyond liberalism at this point. But if you get into the psychosis of these people, I at this point, if somebody's a therapist or something and they're a liberal, I won't trust them. If they're especially if they work with children, I literally cannot trust anybody on the left with children anymore. It's gotten that bad. It's that bad. And this kind of stuff is coming out every day. There's a certain community where it's really accelerated. I'm not going to talk about it because I'm on YouTube. They will ban me or block me for talking about it. So I just can't go there, but it's getting worse and worse, but it's being revealed. And my hope is that a lot of stuff comes from this. Because to me, the ultimate thing is that I want justice for every child that's ever hurt. And that's what I want to see. And I'm hoping that this gets more and more blown open. And I do believe that Trump has a major heart for that, which is why actually he appointed one of the main reasons he appointed Pam Bondi, which if you guys don't know, Pam Bondi was actually massive. One of her main things is going after child trafficking and ending it. And I believe it's one of the main reasons Trump appointed her. And she had a little spicy moment today at this committee. And it's a very quick clip, but I wanted to play it real quick. But Trump's team is so phenomenal at how they handle these situations.
You want to talk about incompetence? You're the one that said Joe Biden on PBS was competent. You had to retract those words.
Mr.
Don't
Chairman,
talk to me. Don't insult me publicly.
this is so discourteous. This is so outside the committee's guidelines. Taking a personal shot at me while
Don't insult me. These people are not afraid. I've seen so many hearings in my life where people would just back down and let the senators walk all over them, but not Trump's team. And I know a lot of you, like Bondi's the one, you guys are the most questionable of because you haven't seen what you want to see from her yet. I get it, but I don't have any doubts about Bondi. I feel very strong about her. I think she's doing a great job and will continue to do so going forward. She seems well equipped for her role, in my opinion. And if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. You know, it's not great though right now, and I have serious issues with what's going on. This man, Alex, what the heck is going on, dude? He brought Nick Fuentes back on. And you know, I've said it so many times. I've tried to defend Alex. I've tried to give him more and more chances, but he's not getting better. He's getting worse. And there's something going on with Alex, and I don't want to believe that it's as bad as I think it might be, that he could be controlled opposition. But dude, bringing on Nick Fuentes again and again, I mean, he's got his America First hat on. This is the anti-MAGA. They're trying to destroy MAGA. That's Nick Fuentes is a total plant. He's completely beholden to somebody paying him and being held up. I mean, the guy has so many skeletons in his closet. He's a racist. He is the worst of the worst on the so-called right wing. We don't want anything to do with him. We want him in the stratosphere away from MAGA. And yet he's out there saying, we're the true America First. We are blah, blah, blah. And for so long, people just ignored him, you know, except for his little Groyper group. But now Alex Jones is making him a regular part of InfoWars. Guys, when it gets this bad, when it keeps happening regularly, it looks as if they're starting to pool together to try to create these narratives to attack Trump from within, to slowly eat away at everything. But anyways, I know I have some people on my feed who like Nick Fuentes. I'm telling you, if you knew what I knew, he's disgusting. I mean, the guy got caught on video with Destiny, the liberal, the commentator, total douchebag guy who let his wife do another dude in front of him. He and Destiny, let's just say they went down on each other and it's on video out there. Okay. That's who Nick Fuentes really is. All right. And so if you trust this guy, you just don't know what I know. He is awful. He is awful in every single way. He is undermining the MAGA movement. He's undermining Trump at every opportunity, and he's horrible. And Alex is getting worse and worse as he goes. So it's bad. It sucks because I've ultimately liked Alex for a very long time. But I personally, I'm done with InfoWars. I'm not going to watch anymore. I'm not going to listen anymore. Not that I was listening a lot anyways, but I did occasionally check in. I would like some of Alex's guests and some of what Alex would say, but I'm done. I'm done. And this did it for me. You know, fool me once, but the Nick Fuentes stuff is terrible. Okay, let's go into the economy a little bit here. Peter St. Ong says, inflation is running below 1% annualized, and yet Powell still won't cut, because Powell's saying that's somewhat elevated because there's a president to sabotage. 100% true. And that's Zero Hedge reporting Powell's comments. Inflation has eased significantly, but remains somewhat elevated. He says, is it somewhat less elevated than it was in September 2024 when you cut 50 BPS to ram stocks higher into the election? Exactly. Everybody's starting to see it. Trump is, just by Trump being Trump, he's exposing so many people. He's exposing the bad side of Israel. He's exposing the Federal Reserve. It is getting in more and more exposure just by Trump being Trump. It's amazing because these people, they cannot help but become who they really are in front of Trump. He is the demasker in front of everybody because he's so to the point. He doesn't mess around, and he can't be bought. And so he keeps doing stuff. And so they're forced to show themselves over and over and over again. And now Powell and the Federal Reserve are getting completely unmasked by Trump. Just by making it more and more obvious how political they are. Everybody's starting to see it. JD Vance called it out as well. Says, I'd love to hear an argument for why Powell cut rates 50 points right before an election, but can't do it now with inflation lower. That is 100% true. They are trying to sabotage the economy for Trump. And it's just not going to happen. And speaking of more and more getting out, I mean, Cash is really hitting down on the CCP election stuff he's releasing from the FBI and Chuck Grassley getting involved. In 2020, facts about CCP election interference were buried by FBI leadership for political convenience. Thanks to relentless oversight from Chuck Grassley and the hard work of our FBI team, truth is finally coming to light. We're restoring trust through transparency, not politics. This is amazing. If we get that done, it's going to be incredible. If that election, if we finally get that evidence out there that is irrefutable, it's going to be a massive breakthrough, and it will wake up a great number of more people. So, Mike says Alex is right on some things. He's lost his mind lately. That's what I agree. That's why I usually like him, because he has been right on a lot. But you know how you build trust? You know how you build trust so you can subterfuge. You be right on a lot of things. It's the ultimate con. That's how you con people. US1 says about Pam Bondi, I think once the big, beautiful passes, Trump signs it, things will happen. I think Dems and Rhinos will be affected. Time will tell. I actually agree with that, US1. I do think he needs that thing passed before he can really go full out with the justice part of everything. Toe says, remember, Alex brought in the fake Q there for a while. Fake Q. Who is the fake Q? I don't remember that. What's up, BW? Andrew Jackson time. I love it. Powell needs to go. I agree. Alan Krentz says, Bassett said something about go ahead to get approval of a new Fed chair before Powell term's over. Yes. So the Supreme Court, remember, ruled that Trump could fire all these people and agencies, but they also ruled that he cannot fire the Federal Reserve chair because they're something else. So here's the deal. They are talking about doing a shadow chair, a shadow Fed chair, which means electing or agreeing upon a second Fed chair who people will listen to, knowing they will be the next Fed chair. Basically, even though Powell doesn't have to leave till next summer and the Supreme Court ruled he can't be fired by Trump, what they'll do is if they bring out this new Fed chair, people will start ignoring Powell. And that's where things will get very interesting. Very interesting. Tokram says he forgot his name. He had a first name, and Alex tried to pass him off as a rookie. Really? That's interesting. Lochtefeld over on Rumble says Powell's a never Trumper. Yes, that is very true. Even though he was appointed by Trump, which is great. Nell says YouTube was cutting out. Rumble's the place to hear me. Oh, well, that's good to know. I'm streaming better on Rumble, so that's good to know. Cassie says on Rumble they are trying to divide the MAGA, but will not get what they want. Agreed. MAGA is tougher and more together than ever, as the polling shows. Nell says Alex sucks. He can't be trusted. Fake Q is Alex and Jerome Corsi. Oh, that's right, Jerome Corsi. Yeah, Jerome Corsi, total fraud as well. All right, let's keep moving. Major win. I don't have the numbers, anything like that, but per this NBC story, transgenders are fleeing Donald Trump's America in record numbers. I mean, that's a win, folks. I mean, listen, if you're an adult and that's what you want to do with your time, fine. But with and your money, if you want to live your life like that, I don't care. But if you want to push it on us, if you want to go after kids, if you want to be part of this mind virus going on the left, good riddance. And unfortunately, most of that's what's going on. So we are winning more and more the culture war. We are purifying this country through culture. And that is because the people started changing, and then we got Trump in, and now it's accelerating. So very good. LMI says, just goes to show you how the deep state is. The Supreme Court said Trump can fire everyone else but the Fed chair. Total BS. Yes, they said he could fire almost everybody in these independent agencies, except the Fed chair is different. So yeah, I agree with you. I think it's total BS as well. But I do think I think the momentum is building to end the Fed. I don't know if it'll happen in this term or if it'll happen in JD Vance's time as president, but I do think it's coming in the next 4 to 10 years. We will see an end of the Federal Reserve. I really do. Or it'll be so reformed it won't be the same thing anymore. So that's I do believe we're going to see something like that. Let's see. All right, last thing I wanted to touch on tonight real quick, because this doesn't affect me, but it is big news, and that is this. Andrew Cuomo concedes the Democrat primary race to the socialist Zohran Mamdani. He's an Islamic socialist. It is a very sad state where New York, how far they've fallen since 2001. I mean, since 9/11. They have now, the Democrats have fully gone all in on an Islamic socialist, just like the mayor of London. So New York City is getting worse than ever. So, if we care about our cities, which I do, I don't want to see any part of America fully rot. It's still my country. They're my countrymen. They're going to get what they want. But there's still a lot of good people in New York as well. So I pray that they don't let him win the general election. But this is crazy. The guy has crazy ideas. One of them being that the local government should run all of their grocery stores. So this is the insanity that's happening. And we're going to see a lot more of this as America in general is winning. The red states are winning. The purple states are getting more red. As you see that happening, the deep blue areas are going to get worse and worse. And the reason why is they are basically pitching a fit. The people who hate Trump are for one thing, all the people who vote red, they're leaving those places. So it's getting bluer and bluer and bluer. And as it gets deep blue, and it's all that's left is in control is people who hate MAGA, hate Trump, hate Republicans, hate conservatives, hate Christians. As that takes over more and more in these places, they are going to get worse and worse because it's going to be a rejection. It's going to be a reaction to what's going on in the rest of the country. And they're going to say, we're doing it our way. Now, the good part about this is that the worst leftists are living in these places, and they're going to get what they vote for. And a lot of them in a couple years, 5-10 years, are going to reject it. They're going to wake up because they're finally going to see how awful it is. And so even those places will eventually start moderating. But right now we're going through the reaction of the change, and we are the change. America is getting redder. It is getting more common sense again. It is going back to traditional values and common sense, and more individual rights, especially in regards to the economy. That is continuing. That is spreading like wildfire through our country, and we're going to see it. That's why the Democrats are the least popular they've ever been. And Trump continues to remain popular despite all the controversies. That's what's happening in our country. But the blue places, guys, I'm telling you, if you live in a blue city right now, not so much a blue state, because a lot of blue states have very red areas, but if you live in a blue city, a hardcore blue city, like a New York City or a Los Angeles or a San Francisco or a Chicago, if you live in a place like that, I'm warning you right now, it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Those places are not ready for reform. They are in rebellion mode. And in rebellion mode, that's when things get the worst. So I'm just telling you, there's going to be a period of this, and the only question is how long is it going to last? But the rest of the country will continue to get better, and eventually, even these places, some of them will moderate. They're just too large not to, but it's going to take some time. Anyways, on that note, guys, listen, things are good right now overall. What happened last weekend was scary. It was really, really scary that we could get into something deeper than than any of us wanted. Any of us who were worried, even tasting the idea of getting into another Iraq and Afghanistan was scary. And so the fact that we navigated that, I do believe that already is one of the greatest trials Trump's going to have in his entire presidency, and he handled it masterfully. And I do believe he's going to face many more trials as the globalists kick and scream as they're losing power. He's at he's at NATO right now in Europe, talking about Ukraine and all this stuff. I'm hoping we get closer and closer to a resolution there. And then the big, beautiful bill. Congress is now saying they will not go into recess until this is done by the 4th. So there's a chance we get the big, beautiful bill passed by July 4th, which is next Friday, a week from this Friday. So if that passes, there's going to be so much momentum going into July and further. It's going to be incredible. So I think really good things are going to continue to happen, but there's also going to be a lot of challenges. But the good news is, guys, is our president's exactly who he said he was. He passed one of the greatest tests of his presidency, just proving to everybody, all the doubters, that they're wrong, all the people who've supported him, that were validated. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm as confident and happy about all this as I've been in a long time. So before I sign off tonight, please like, subscribe, repost there on X if you don't mind. I appreciate the support, guys. You guys are amazing. Members Live will be tomorrow night. If you want to get in the Members Live, you are not currently a member, join the Patreon. You can go down. I posted on YouTube the free month. It is pinned to the top of my profile at X. You get a free month. You can watch all the members lives, and you can access the Discord, which is going 24/7. A lot of fun, great community in there. And and I didn't talk stocks today. There just hasn't been much news. Stock market was up. Figure had a good day. DJT's starting to look interesting again. So I will start covering stocks again as they get interesting again. All right. Just there hasn't been much to talk about. So if you guys are wondering why I haven't gone there. Other than that, let's pray and let's call it a night. So Heavenly Father, thank you for today. God bless this amazing community. God bless our country, our president. We pray protection and wisdom for our president and for all his people. We pray for Daniel Price and all the leftists who have lost their minds, that you would have mercy on them and help them wake up. And God, just thank you for this community. Love this community. Bless them. Pray they have a great night. And thank you for all the miracles you're pulling off. We're watching miracles almost daily, it seems like, happening in the world and our country. Now that momentum's on the side of the righteous and the common sense. And it's just good to see. So we pray for our country that we truly get this momentum to continue to go as far as it could possibly go, and we can see another golden age truly in America. In Jesus' name, amen. All right. Love you guys. Bless you. Have a great night, and I'll see you members tomorrow. Take care.